Thank you for tuning in to No Flag Radio. I'm your host, P. Getting on all these punk ass motherfuckers out here that's on this weak ass coon shit. Today we talking about crooked ass Renee Hall, Dallas police chief that's presiding over the Botham Jean case. Brother that was executed by Amber Guyger, devil ass. And Faith Johnson, neutered ass DA that we got out here, who's also over this Botham Jean case. And how we need to boycott they shit. Now we all know that Renee Hall, we'll just start with her stupid ass. We know that she is a disease, the newest disease in the Dallas Police Department. She was elected in 2017. She's been in the Detroit Police Department for 18 years. And she showed her hand hard with this Botham Jean case early on. She showed she willing to play white supremacist terrorist games. And she willing to pay the Gatorade man overtime just so she can stay in play with the games that white supremacist terrorism wants to play. Just so she can stay on the field and play for white supremacist terrorist police, race soldiering out here, quenching her thirst while continuing to be in play for their ass. You know, they did an interview with her in D Magazine out here. D Magazine, they just bigging her up, talking about, yeah, she works all these extra hours and she came from getting a pedicure and a manicure one time to visit one of her officers who shot himself while he was on duty or something. She came in the middle of the night to do all of this shit. She wakes up and does all these extra hours and all this shit. She's of the spirit of, she wanna be a super cop bitch. I don't feel this bitch. Not only is she showing her white supremacist terrorist leanings, she's also showing that she has an unreasonable sympathy for officers, which I think comes from what happened to her daddy. We all hear about her daddy got shot and killed. He was a police officer. He got killed in 1971. And I'm gonna touch a little bit on that after I break down her resume a little bit. A little bit of history on her. She is a Grambling State University graduate, got a master's degree in security administration and intelligence analysis. So she's on the intel side of shit. She's a graduate of the FBI National Academy. That's for like, you gotta be a military person, a police, a sheriff, some shit like that. And you get nominated to go to the academy and they do this little 10-week program, whatever, to be basically on some super cop shit. She also completed the Police Executive Leadership Institution. She's a part of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. So she's a FBI loving, super cop wannabe ass, quote unquote decorated, dirty little piece of shit out here. Wanna do dirt ass piece of shit out here and wanna have all the stripes to do all the dirt she can do. Piece of shit out here, right? That's who she is. So, born in Detroit, she got a master's degree in security administration and intelligence analysis from the University of Detroit Mercy. Detroit Mercy is where Michael Keegan Key graduated from, a whole bunch of basketball players back in the day. A guy by the name of Roman Gribbs graduated from there. And I want to let y'all know a little something about Roman Gribbs. Roman Gribbs was actually elected to be the mayor of Detroit in 1969. And he created an organization called STRESS. S-T-R-E-S-S. That means Stop the Robberies, Enjoy Safe Streets. It's like a secret elite police unit, right? Now everybody know they did all type of shit. They used decoy operation, basically was their main thing, where they put a police out there to try to entrap people in undercover stings and shit like that. And they ignored white criminals the whole time. They was really just trying to get on black people, right? And a whole bunch of illegal search warrants, a whole bunch of raids without search warrants, a whole bunch of killing of black people within the time frame of this organization's existence went down. A whole bunch of fucking animal shit that they was carrying out. I bring all that up to say, we all know that Renee Hall daddy got killed in 1971. He was a police officer, right? He got killed in 1971. His name is Ulysses Hall. He got killed, right? Being a police, working for a gambling and prostitution unit, and he was doing some undercover work in 1971 I'm gonna pull up the facts about it, but they say that in 30 months, the stress unit killed 20 people. So 30 months, that's 2.5 years. So that puts us into 1971, right? The year Renee Hall daddy got killed in an undercover sting, trying to bust up gambling and prostitution. And that's some crazy shit. I can't find Renee Hall's exact birth date, but 1971 was when she was born. And the time frame in which they were recording the activities of this stress unit, just looking at its first 30 months, she was born within the last 6 months of its most lethal points of its operations. It killed 20 citizens within 30 months and did about 500 unwarranted raids and searches on black people, leaving everybody else out, just fucking with black people, right? And what I think, her daddy was probably caught up in all that dirty shit, all right? And she's a byproduct of that. Her family's genetic journey and leanings are representative of that. I'm sure she don't even think about it like that. She just think black people are all bad, and I'm sure that's what she think. Even though Detroit is a majority black city, you know, and they giving her credit out here in Dallas, like she comes from a place where it's mainly black people, and you know, she deals with the black community. They trying to play that shit up, but she doing snake shit. She's showing her capacity to do snake shit with the black community. So I don't feel this bitch. And her daddy probably got killed by fucking with stress, is what I think. This is just my conjecture. Now, I don't know. But I'm an Aries, man. We're very spiritually in tune people. Ulysses Hall, Renee Hall daddy. If your spirit is out there, dog, tell us something, man. Did you get caught up in that stress shit? Let your daughter know that it was a white man trying to target black people that got you caught up in some shit, and that she shouldn't hate black people like she do so much. But we gonna, you know what I mean? we gonna move on. We gonna get it on and keep it strong, right? So this stress organization, they increase confrontations between the black community and police, right? This Roman Gribbs guy, you know, there's some lineage in that I think we all need to just look at. This University of Detroit, all this is kind of just tying in is what I'm seeing. I always talk about how karma ties in people and events in ways that you wouldn't even think of. I'm sure Renee Hall didn't even think about it like that, or maybe she fucking dead. You know what I mean? But that's a little history on that part of this woman Renee Hall's life and her daddy and all of that shit. She has a love for the police. And I think her love for the police, as we're seeing in this case with Botham Jean, her capacity to cape for police goes deep. Her love for the police represents her loving her daddy, is what I'm gonna say. She gonna ride for the cops. I get it, old coon ass bitch, I get it. And I just wanna say, look, I talked about how she was trying to sell transparency. We're gonna be transparent as a unit. And early in the investigation, she came out buck passing the buck from her dirty ass jurisdiction, her dirty ass lap, to the Texas Rangers, who are a Blue Lives Matter organization, period. She knows how to play the game of being a dirty, rotten, low-down cop out here to protect dirty, rotten, low-down cops. She ran 6 of Detroit's 11 different precincts under her leadership. She's been a police for 18 years. She came on in 2000 as a police in Detroit. She just made it out here in 2017. And they say when she was there, the city of Detroit experienced a 40-year low in homicides and double-digit reduction in violent crime for 3 consecutive years and yada, yada, yada. But just look a little deeper into the type of police force she was cultivated in. We can take it back. She came into the police force in 2000. All right, so she was young. She was fresh out of the academy, fresh out of her schooling and all that shit. And we could just go year for year. June 2003, 17 Detroit police officers indicted on federal charges from looting money from drug dealers, prostitutes, to possession of stolen firearms. So you know when a cop got a stolen gun, they're gonna use it to do dirty killing of black people with. This is what they fucking do. 17 motherfuckers caught up in the indictment. Conspiracy against people's rights, which carries a maximum of 10 years in prison. And I'll look into those sentences to see how many of them actually have served that 10-year sentence since 2003. I don't believe that they are gonna even do them like that. But this was between April 2000 and December 2002, the range of this indictment, right? So she was fresh on the force seeing this type of dirty shit. Now, back in Detroit, she was over this like neighborhood policing and animal rights kind of policing. She wasn't doing hardcore shit, it seems, in her career early on. But this is the environment that's around her. This is an environment that she's being cultivated around and learning to be an apologist for as a young police officer, right? Anyway, let's get in. Let's keep going. 1999, shit, the year before she got in, there were 6 police officers indicted on charges of robbing and beating up people in the streets and hoarding money and guns and drugs from illegal searches of quote-unquote drug houses, suspected drug houses, all in order to steal money and drugs that they then sold for profit. This is in Detroit. This is the environment she's being brought up in. We can go back. 2015, 2 Detroit police officers used their authority as law enforcement to arrange drug deals, orchestrate traffic stops, do false arrests, and coerce and extort motherfuckers. This is 2015. This is under Police Chief James Craig. Some of these were under Police Chief James Craig, I should say, who was the main chief, I guess, over a lot of the precincts. Detroit got 11 precincts. She was over 6 of them. So James Craig ran some, and I guess she ran some of them, or however the fuck they played it out. I don't know how they did it, but she learning from motherfuckers that got a corrupt ass fucking police system. She learned in a corrupt ass environment. What the fuck you think she gonna bring to Dallas? The dirt just kept piling on in Detroit, piling on, and incubating a motherfucker like Renee Hall. She a product of her environment. She learned around scum-ass, crooked-ass cops, and she's a scum-ass, crooked-ass cop coming out here trying to run the same circus out here. And motherfuckers don't want to speak up on what the fuck she is, for real, but I will. Cause fuck that bitch. She ain't shit to my people. Fuck that bitch, you heard? They want to act like because she's a woman and she's feminine and female and all this shit, well, she's getting her nails done and getting her pedicure and all this shit. Don't nobody care about your nails and your pedicure, bitch. Your heart is with devils, bitch. You know what I mean? But let's keep it going. July 2016, a police lieutenant and an officer out robbing drug dealers and stealing money during police searches. This is what they do. This is what's being done out in Detroit. And a whole bunch of other shit. Cops car stripping, cops beating up the cameraman, trying to expose their bullshit. This is the environment she came from. So I just want to say that. They brought this motherfucker out here to Dallas like she's some fucking hero. That bitch is an animal. She willing to play ball and trying to make Dallas Police Department be nasty. She come to make it nasty. I'm just saying. I also took the liberty of looking up who Renee Hall ran against to be a police chief in Dallas. And there's some lady out in California, one of these swirler police officers that they said, nah, we don't want you. You a swirling chick. You got a white man. You got a man. Hell no, bitch. We need a woman that it ain't got nobody. No man, no kids, and all that shit. And so she's came out. We've seen several stories of her talking about, I'm not going to settle and all of this. And I got nieces and nephews, you know, and she's about 47, almost 50, about 50 years old now. Something about a woman that don't got no man, no kids, and is fucking up with men. Like, everybody knows about her story of slapping her ex-boyfriend. That's one of the big things when they was trying to evaluate her for being a police chief. It was like, you know, you got this on your record of assaulting a man. I'm sure he was a black dude. I'm sure he was getting assaulted by her. You know what I mean? Now, had she assaulted a white man, had he not been black, then they probably would have said, no, bitch, you can't be no police beating up on a white man. But I'm sure he was black, so they let her on force, whatever. But a woman with no man, no kids, and a history of being disrespectful towards men, this is what Dallas wants, all right? A lot of women that go through that shit have no man, no kids, and run men away, I should say, and got all these issues with men. All that's left in them women usually is a heart full of anger at the world. You know what I'm saying? It's like Cynthia G. Look at Cynthia G poisoning. Look at her poisoning that she do to the world. No man, no kids, heart full of anger. That kind of woman will do the robot for a police force and will be that little wind-up doll to kill, deal, steal, whenever they call. And she's already, like I said, already caught the case for beating on her ex-boyfriend. And a black woman in her 40s, no man, no kids, you know, like she can't make it work with men, beating on men, no kids, but she's accomplished in a career. They're usually fucked up when it comes to overseeing the well-being of young black men if they work in law enforcement. I'm speaking from personal experience of having to deal with black women lawyers with no men, they got this hatred for black men. They will shit on you. I'm just saying, somebody out there hear me. These type of women, they can be fucked up, I should say. I don't want to say they're all fucked up, but they can be fucked up when it comes to dealing with the welfare of young black men. They look at them and see boyfriend who didn't want to deal with them long term. They look at a black man walking into their office trying to get representation, and they see daddy who left mama, or who had to work so much he couldn't see the family or whatever. By not being healed from that shit, you know the saying, hurt people hurt people. Well, not healed people don't heal people. She gonna shit on Botham Jean's life into the damn grave. Accomplished ass Renee Hall full well knows that she's gonna shit on this man into the grave and that she wants her police to get off. She's here to make the Dallas Police Department more airtight in its corruption. And I think the Texas Rangers stunt and them passing the buck to them, that was just the tip of her iceberg that we've seen. The Kaufman County trial, trying to shift it off to Kaufman County, that's just the tip of her iceberg. And they're trying to fight that right now in the courts right now. But you see the thought lineage she comes in the name of. On to Faith Johnson, she's the DA in the Botham Jean case. And she's shown her ass several times during this case. Not only clicheing her way through the early interviews of this case, we seen her saying shit like, we're gonna give you all the facts and we're gonna do right. Trust me, trust me, trust us. Oh, trust us Jones looking ass bitch. Basically tiptoeing the good old boy, good old gal sideline. Trying to keep the ball in play for white supremacy. Trying to keep the ball in play for her corrupt Dallas police system so they can keep Guyger under this manslaughter charge and not under murder, where her dog ass belongs. And Faith Johnson, she was actually the DA who presided when the Jordan Edwards case popped off. A 17-year-old Mesquite, Texas student, he got shot in the car, if y'all remember, while backing out from a party at a home by that swine-ass officer, Roy Oliver. He got 15 years, so they say. So I guess she's still high off of that, right? She thinks the black community is soft on her right now. And she thinks that that will residually bleed over into the Botham Jean case. But the bitch is wrong. Wrong, bitch. All right, the Dallas community ain't feeling this crooked wig wearing dandy. I'm gonna use a minstrel term. She a dandy, goddamn, because she light skinned. So I'm gonna throw the dandy out there. Dallas community ain't feeling this crooked wig wearing dandy any more than they're feeling her booty partner, chump ass Alicia Renee Hall. All right. And I mean, she come to speaking engagements with the black community about this particular case, and she yelling and screaming at black people like we some damn kids out here, you know what I'm saying? I'm surprised ain't nobody slap her crow's feet straight. Ain't slap her wrinkles straight out of her face, man. You know what I'm saying? Yelling. You can see the plenty of pictures. I should post one up. I might post it up in the thumb somewhere. Yelling at niggas like we some kids. And she has this slogan. Oh yeah. She got this slogan that she run with, right? Talking about justice, not politics. Justice, not politics. That she's about justice and not political party or whatever. But her slogan of justice, not politics, is wavering in this Botham Jean case that we seen. You understand? Because Renee Hall is on board to play ball. And the Texas Rangers are down to play Blue Lives Matter politics at all times. You know what I mean? No matter how blatantly guilty a cop piece of trash like Amber Guyger is, we know where she stands. It's not justice. It's not even politics with her. It is now white race, not justice. White race first, not justice. White supremacist terrorism first, not justice. This is who this bitch is. She fired Amber Guyger on the 24th of September, 2018. Botham Jean was shot on the 6th of last month. Yet last year, y'all might remember, Faith Johnson fired one of her own assistant district attorneys, a certain Jody Warner. She's this white supremacist terrorist female who went drunk as fuck white supremacist terrorist on an Uber driver, talking about take me home and you're a retard. And she was saying, you're kidnapping me. And he's like, how am I kidnapping you? By asking you to get out of my car for being rude. You're being rude, get the fuck out of my car. He didn't say get the fuck out of my car, but he's like, get out of my car. How am I kidnapping you by asking you to get out of my car? He called the cops and she was like, I want the cops to come so they can fuck you up. Who are they gonna believe, you or me? And that was the tagline they put on all of the, news stories. Assistant DA, Jody Warner, talking about who are they gonna believe, you or me? You know what I mean? She tried that. She knows people bullshit. Yeah, she was like, talking all that, I know people. And Faith Johnson saw fit to fire her on the 13th of November 2017, right? Yet the event took place on the 10th. It took her 3 days to fire her own assistant district attorney, yet it took 18 days to fire Guyger, who killed a black man. But looky, did I mention the Uber driver? His name was Sean Platt. He was a white male. Did I mention that? So we all know whose ass Faith Johnson's traitorous puppet behind kisses the fastest out here, right? White male ass. We all know she's increasingly proving her loyalty to white supremacist terrorism as her career goes on. While plenty of black men get the shaft fucking with her black ass out here in the DA's office. They did this flyer talking about, the saying out here in Texas called don't mess with Texas. We got a saying called don't mess with Texas. It's like for a litter campaign they ran in the 80s or whatever. She was passing out these flyers in the community that say, don't mess up Texas. Trying to get herself to be put into office again because the elections is coming up soon for her office. And, black community, we already know who she is out here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and surrounding areas. We know who Faith Johnson is. So when she sends out her flyers, the PR people, they're not supposed to send your flyers to places that don't give a damn about you, right? She fucked up and sent them shits to South Dallas like a motherfucker, right? She sent them shits out to South Dallas. They mistakenly sent them out, right? And motherfuckers is like, bitch, if you don't get the fuck out of here with that stupid shit, bitch. You know what I mean? But that shit was funny though. Motherfuckers ain't fucking with her. But look, the thing with Sean Platt, the Uber driver, that was last year though. Back to what I'm saying, she has to increasingly prove her loyalty and keep proving her loyalty to white supremacist terrorism as her career go on and she get older and get older. That shit with Sean Platt was last year. Texas is a Republican state and the Republicans are saying, look here, old nigger bitch, what the fuck have you done for us lately in the name of white supremacy? Old nigger bitch. Nigger, get on code if you want another term. This is what they saying. The election is just in a few weeks from today, so she's trying to pay tribute to those who butter her bread. And I have no doubt that the Botham Jean case will be a fight and will continue to be dragged out and will continue to be window dressed as an affair for the Texas Rangers. And that's how Faith Johnson wants to escape her duty to justice out here. That's what she's doing. That's what she's doing. Renee Mark-ass Hall, she's out to escape her duty to justice in this case. So this is what we gonna do. I planned on doing a boycott against the Potter's house. because Faith Fake-Ass Johnson is a member of the board of the Potter's House. But then I changed my mind. I said, you know what? Upon doing more research, I saw that Renee Hall, this is the way the world work, boy, paths cross like a motherfucker out in this bitch. Renee Hall actually went to the Potter's House to speak to the black community that go to the Potter's House or whatever, and she was talking some more, what about black on black crime shit, that black people, we do it to ourselves, we do this shit to ourselves, talking this shit, right? And an unsuspecting figure by the name of T.D. Jakes stood up and was like, nah, you know, the stuff we got going on in the black community, it's systemically put in place by people who don't want to see black people rise. It ain't about what about black on black crime. Crime is being deployed into our community. Criminal activity is being fomented in our community. Basically what he's saying is that crime is an import to the black community. This is how I like to look at it. Crime is being imported into the black community by people who have interest in seeing the black community struggle and be on the bottom in the society. That's basically what this man, T.D. Jakes, was saying. And I'm no fan of the black church. I'm no fan of Christianity. I'm no fan of T.D. Jakes. I'm no fan of the Potters. I'm no fan of none of that shit. But that was some 100, that was some official tissue that he's speaking right there. You understand? So, I'm gonna withhold my boycott against the Potter's House on this shit. And I'm gonna let you know who I'm gonna boycott out of this Faith Fake-Ass Johnson and ugly ass, mark ass, punk ass, weak ass, traitorous ass Renee Hall in my next video. But had to drop that. Be sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit that notification button so you know when I'm dropping. Get it, y'all.